Isa's ever diverse Spotify playlist turns up another belter for us today because, chocolate has been one of the buzzwords here in Dubai throughout the year. Okay, blame TikTok, blame whatever, blame the booming industry, blame the population growth here, and of course tourism numbers going through the roof. But it's good for those that produce chocolate here in the region. Or is it, especially in light of what's happening with the price of chocolate's key ingredient, which has skyrocketed this year, prompting analysts to issue fresh warnings about extreme price volatility. The New York cocoa futures contract with March delivery traded as much as 1% higher at $11,938 per metric ton on Tuesday, notching yet another record high since paired some of those gains trading a little bit further down. But the price of cocoa is going up at the moment. What does that mean for producers? Well, let's ask the CEO of Co Chocolat, Iman Suguitan, who joins us live in studio. Iman, thank you so much indeed for being with us.
Hi, Tom.
Good
to morning.
Good to have you on board. Your reaction to this story, ingredients getting more expensive, making life difficult?
Absolutely, yes. My reaction, not good, because it has heavily impacted us artisanal chocolate makers who are using whole cacao beans, especially. We really felt this year the beating of the global cocoa prices.
I mean, in terms of producers like yourself locally here at the moment, are we at the behest of those sort of those global trade prices at the moment? Is supply difficult here into the UAE?
You hit the nail on the head. We are at the behest of the big chocolate makers, because there are actually 2-3 big grinders in the world, and they purchase 70% of the world's cocoa. So if Ivory Coast and the West Africa is suffering, which is their main supplier, they are going to source elsewhere. And you were asking me about what the local effect is. I've been speaking with my friends in the industry, and they say that cocoa butter, cocoa powder, whole cacao beans itself, nobody's giving prices more than for more than a period of good, that it's good for 5 days. Can you imagine? Nobody's giving long-term prices. Why? Because they're just afraid that it's going to go up again. And even we went to Gulf Food, when we were speaking with Turkish suppliers, Belgian suppliers, nobody wants to give long-term prices.
Really?
Yeah, this is how bad it is. And speaking of locally, if you see chocolates, if they call it chocolates, and the prices are still not increasing, ask yourself, is it really chocolates that's in there? Because it's crazy. And if you look at your favorite, let's say, artisanal chocolate maker, you'll notice that they have been launching. I see the trend. More chocolates that have more inclusions, meaning they're using more nuts. They're using more, other things instead of the pure cocoa. Why? Because cocoa is just so expensive. Before, you'd say, no, we cannot put a lot of this ingredient, let's say this type of nut or that type of nut, because it's too expensive. No, it's cheaper to put expensive nuts because cocoa is just tremendously expensive.
So you're not getting any sort of prices for they're not giving you futures or anything like that. People are just waiting to see what harvests are looking like, are they?
Yeah. Nobody's sure. And how high the prices will go. We thought next year it's going to be better. But speaking to cocoa suppliers, they've even given some of my friends in the industry a heads up. If you want to order before again another rise in cocoa butter, cocoa prices, do that now before the year ends. So it's an uphill climb for us chocolate makers.
Left field question. You mentioned there the 3 big markets, and of course the system of brokers around the world as well. I mean, given the investment into food security here, and given the fact that we are now producing fruit, vegetables, other crops that we never thought we would several years ago. Has there been any chat about us potentially growing cocoa here or not?
See, cocoa it's a very special kind of plant because it asks for a certain altitude. It asks for a certain, even like in the Philippines where we source our cacao. there are certain areas wherein it grows really well. It's not also everywhere. So I think maybe in decades they will find the technology to mimic, because I know that in London, which botanical garden they've managed to to grow some trees, but like a few trees because of very controlled environment. But right now, it's going to be a bit difficult to do that here in the desert.
Business continues apace. How has 2024 been for you in light of these prices?
Very challenging. Very challenging. We're quite lucky. We're growing. Our sales are growing still, but we had to be creative as well. Actually, early last year, 2023, we were decreasing some of our prices. Imagine, we were decreasing because we had the economies of scale. The business is growing. But 2024 was really tough because from January, February, it's just up and up and up. The price of cocoa butter, it's 250% more expensive than last year. Can you imagine? So for us, like the other chocolate makers who are using real cacao, we still want to use real cacao. We are trying to veering away from palm oil. So we just use more nuts, more pistachio.
Dare we say it as well. I mean, and 2025, I sort of said it in jest a little bit earlier on, that idea of chocolate and Dubai seem to be going hand in hand at the moment, bit of a viral sensation as well. Has that been good for the chocolate industry here?
I think, yeah. I love what they've done. I have a lot of respect for those who have created it. And this has trickled down to other brands and to chocolate factories like us, because the demand is there for the Dubai chocolate, the viral chocolate, and if we have a factory, you want chocolates with kunafa pistachio? Yes.
It's possible. What's 2025 look like for you?
Okay, 2025, we're going to work harder. That's the thing. We're going to work harder and just be more creative, because if the prices of our cocoa are going up, we need to use we used to maybe more inclusions, less use of cacao. However, because we're a healthy chocolate brand, we still want to keep our whole cacao, because we still sell 100% pure cacao, and there is a market, at least for us, for that. So we're still going to have that, so we can still cater to purists, but we have some alternatives, a little bit more nuts, a little bit more dates, a little bit more dried fruits, and just move forward and upwards.
Quite right too. 2 weeks into December, 2 weeks to go until the end of the year. Is this end of the year, what with Christmas, other festivities, a lot of gifting going on, a good time of year for you?
Super. This is the last quarter, I think, makes up the half of the sales of the whole year.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the conferences, parties, year-end parties, Christmas parties, a lot of corporate gifting, conferences. So we are happy when it's winter.
Quite right too. Even when it's raining.
Yes.
Quite right too. I know that you've just battled the rain. So, Iman, thank you so much indeed for your time. All the best for the rest of the year.
Thank
all the
you.
best for next
Thank
year
you, Tom.
as well. And thank you so much indeed for sharing your story. Iman Suguitan joining us live in studio, the CEO of Co Chocolat.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
With Yas Island Abu Dhabi. Stay at iconic hotels and play at record-breaking theme parks. Book now on yasisland.com.
Yeah, rain this morning across Dubai and indeed across the UAE, raining in the Dubai Eye car park in Media City. It's not having an impact as far as I can see on the roads, but if you know different and if it's safe, do please get in touch.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
Right, Deanie's off to find chocolate. We are going to tell you what's happening in the currency markets, and we'll also let you know what's going on the agenda. George Tolley will put us in the picture very, very shortly. If you've got any rain stories or stories of the rain, then please do share by texting us on 4001.
Weather check.
With Air Arabia, fly non-stop from Sharjah to the Maldives.